Good day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words, and happy Monday to everyone. Let me see these beautiful faces. Oh, yes, here we are. Monday. I love me, my Monday. Shout out to Mr. Chris Lopez for getting this puppy started. I have the information on the new rules that will begin on September 27th. This week we're good. Next week we're good. So we're going to be celebrating the old era these next 2 weeks as we move into the new era. But right now, let's get to business because I like to get to the poetry. This is Open Mic Show number 76. It is part of Volume 2, which we are affectionately calling Season 2. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We stream it live on the Nuyorican Poets Cafe's page on Facebook and YouTube. If you would like to see tonight's recording later, or you would like to see our previous shows and our other online events, make sure you check out the Nuyorican Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube. If you're watching this in the future, or if you happen to be watching this live right now on Facebook or YouTube, you could join us on Zoom. The number's on the bottom of the screen, 279-995-364. The number will be on the bottom of the screen for a little bit. We would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can help support us with a tax-deductible donation by going to www.nuyorican.org/contribute, or by sending money to our Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Tonight's theme, Ode to Your Voice. On Saturday, September 11th, that was Miguel Agarin's birthday. It is his first birthday since he has passed on. And there's been a lot of tributes to him. So I felt like, how can we honor him on Monday without kind of doing what everyone else is doing, which has been great. And I figure we do an ode to your voice. Miguel Agarin started this bad boy, and it was about giving voice to other people. So I figure this is how we're going to honor him, ode to your voice. If you see on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the upcoming themes for the next 2 months. Next week is Pirate. I'm really excited to see that. I think it's like International Pirate Day or something. That's why I chose the theme. All of that can be found on my social media on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Words. And as always, when you spell words, it's with a Z, poetic license. I'm from the Bronx, what hip hop. You can also find me on YouTube. I got some stuff on YouTube. Come check me out. Poets, when it is your turn to perform and I call you, please turn your camera on. We want to see your beautiful faces. We want to simulate a real life open mic as much as possible. And part of that is seeing your face and expression. So please turn your camera on. We do have a few rules. Rule number 1, please have your poem ready. We have a lot of people on the open mic list, and everyone knows that I like to get to the waiting list. The waiting list is not guaranteed, but one way we can save time is poets, have your poems ready now. So if it's on a piece of paper, your iPad, or your computer, make sure you pull up the file now. Please be courteous. You have 4 minutes to read or share your poem. That is coming to an end soon, but I'm going to talk about the new rule soon. But tonight, you have 4 minutes to read or perform your poem. Make sure you stick to the 4 minutes. We got a lot of people on the waiting list. I want to get to as many as possible. Please be courteous. In terms of censorship, there is none. Put the kids to bed. After our poets perform, you're going to see this message pop up asking you to unmute yourself. For those of you who are on Zoom, please unmute yourselves and be loud and obnoxious and shower our poets with a lot of love. Like I said, we want to simulate a real life online open mic. The hybrid open mic, it is coming, I believe, at the end of this month. I am waiting to get everything signed off. If not, it will be at the beginning of next month. Once I get the date, I will let you know. Those who don't know, We are starting a new series here at the New Rican Poets Cafe called the Hybrid Open Mic. It is a live stream poetry open mic. Half of the open mic list will consist of poets participating via Zoom, like we're doing right now. The other half will be composed of poets performing from inside the New Rican Poets Cafe. For more information, make sure you're following me online. Oh, snap! Wild Poets again. Saturday, September 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. In front of the Wild Project, we are going to do another open mic. We're going to shut down the streets and share some joy, called Wild Poets again. Later this week, I'm going to have all the information for you on how you can sign up and participate. So make sure you follow me online. I want to see your beautiful faces. This is our open mic list for tonight. It is different from what I emailed because someone like Miro and Andy Markert had switched places. Miro's probably not going to be able to make tonight. Andy was on the waiting list, so now he is going to lead off. Also, I had to move Paul Conqueso because he is going to be doing a collab with Elemental. And I also had to move Amanda because she's going to be doing a collab with Kilson. I hope I'm saying that name right. And Kilson is new. As you see, the people in yellow are those who have not performed, do new voices. I love new voices on Monday night online open mic, except Gustav Salas did perform last night, but it's going to be the first time he's signing up. So we also have, and I hope I pronounced this name right, Aldenerly. You're going to correct me, Miss Torres. You're going to correct me when I call you up. You are fourth. 11th, we have Kawana James. I don't know who Kawana is, but a new voice. I'm happy for that. In the 23rd slot, we have Marco Romeo. In the 24th slot, I'm going to mess up this name, and I'm so sorry. Be sure you correct me. I'm not sure if it's Huda or Hauda Dabi. But whenever I call you, you make sure that you correct me. And on the waiting list, hopefully we get to the waiting list. Luke is the first time that he has signed up with the Monday night online open mic. I think he has signed up with Thursday, though. With that being said, let's get this party started because we are here for the poetry. Oh, and Marco Romeo just came in. So we are going to start off with Mr. Andy Markert. Oh, there he is. He's at the very top right here. So let me see. Let me unmute him.
Hi.
There he goes. Andy, you know the deal. Let the people know how they can find you online, and then let's get into it.
Y'all can find me at Andy Meerkat, and if you watch real closely, you're going to see some magic happen where it's going to pop in a bubble below my head right now, down there. I got one for you tonight, babies. I got one. I have a love poem. We're going to eschew being dirty. I'm going to make you guys feel romantic for the evening. Get comfy. This one's entitled, When She Tells Me She Doesn't Like Love Poems. When she tells me she doesn't like love poems, too vulnerable, she tells me. I smile. Truth is, neither do I. Truth is, this vulnerability is more often ripped from a body than released. I've never written a thing more costly than a love poem. Revelation is an apocalypse so heavy to carry. I cannot abide the roses are red, the violets are blue. Fairy tale truth is, to the colorblind, the roses are blue and the violets red, and anything is possible with all the terrible dark ingenuity of these hands. Hands I've known too often holding more danger than comfort. Fairy tales, they tell me, will kill you faster than the nightmare. My love is not commercial. It does not go down easy. I am not a soul so easily swallowed. I have always thought of you, my love, more musician than magic. You play my heart so gently, and with a dexterity born of adversity, create new rhythms in an instrument once thought too bruised to learn to beat right. It skips so many beats, it makes me wonder if I've never really lived in the time it had kept. You make my heart unruly. You make my heart yearn to burst. You teach me what it means to yearn. I wanted you to show me a magic trick. I didn't know I was showing up to learn how to appear. When I thought I'd mastered disappearing, it took so little sleight of hand to make what was hidden found again. When you sawed me in half, I had never counted on you putting me back together better than you found me. You told me I am your person and made a lifetime of self-hatred vanish. I told myself it was a trick of the light until I realized the monster wasn't actually under my bed. When she tells me she doesn't like love poems, I smile. Truth is, neither do I. But I have for you this poem about magic. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give some
That
love
was
to Andy
magical.
Marker.
Wow.
That's how you started
That was
off.
good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Yeah, a lot to be
That's a
said
dope love
for
poem.
not
Gave me
being
Good
butterflies.
stuff, Andy. Good stuff, man.
Andy Markert, you can follow him at Andy Meerkat. When you spell Andy Meerkat, that is with 2 T's at the bottom. Of course, those of you who are performing tonight, if you would like to put your social media handle in your name, just like Andy did, make sure you do so, because not everyone who's watching us is going to be watching us live. Some are going to be on Facebook and YouTube, and it'll be easier for them to see where they can find you. Of course, unless you're in the witness protection program, then, keep that a secret. Ain't no snitches on Mondays. Ain't no snitches here. Next coming up is a man who doesn't snitch on anyone but himself and his wild private life, and that is The Withdrawn. Brother, let the people know where they can find you, and then let's hear your stuff, brother.
Thank you. Y'all can follow me at The Withdrawn on Instagram, thewithdrawn.com. And shout out Shalik Mitch. That's my blood brother right there. So I love you, bro. Thank you for coming through. All right, this piece is called Ode to the Way I Used to Write When I Was a Kid that I'm starting to tap back into. Lay it down. Never one to brag about sex, and I definitely won't do so now. But you know what it is. Your legs mold when I'm up in it. To fit the formation of my shoulders is gotten a lot colder out here since I last left your bedroom. My diabetes queen, you just might be my type 2. If I get to learn a little more, I might realize that you're my type 2. Like you, I never really been the type 2. Type 2. Fingers to any and everybody who doesn't want to respect my life. Who the fuck did you think I was? Trying to get through to these girls who only go after bums. And teach the bums you can be a real nigga without ever having to say you one. Sex drive high, so I'm like hard all the time, but I got a lot of soft spots in me. Hate the poetry, but I'm the one with the dick. How is it that you stay cocking me? More eyes on you doesn't mean your writing should change. Since I was a virgin, I've been writing the same. To some, I might look same, but I promise I'm not. Still appreciative of this life though, and the brain that I got. Could be an Instagram bot or a therapeutic thought. When I grow up, when I show up for myself, when you look up at the sky, what do you smell? Is it life, death? I smell chicken, and that's not because I'm Black. We're taught to smell fear. Inhale and exhale it so you're no longer here. In this moment, I flood. Inside Mrs. Incredible, we transform each other into a boat. No, in this moment, I float. Inside Mrs. Incredible, we transform each other into a boat. Next week, I want to be a pirate and ride the waves of the Mayans. Won't sign up so I can give someone else a chance to sign in. To make the New York their new home. Make you our new hoe. as you work to become one of us, but serve us all. Remember that we are also poets before and after we perform. Peanut butter is cool to spread, but love is much better. Surprised I didn't say legs. Fly high like a bird, my friends, and also melt to drop your feathers. You never know when you'll inspire someone next to pick up a pen. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for the withdrawal.
Yo, Mr. Wordz.
Basket on me.
With that grown man voice.
I know.
Love that.
Sounds like a male version of Ray James.
You saw him, he dug deep. I was like, yo, what's up with that voice, man? Withdrawn going through a second round of puberty. That's what's up. Check out The Withdrawn at The Withdrawn or thewithdrawn.com. I hope I get to see him on Saturday. He keep talking about he's coming back down to the city. Hopefully we can see him on the 25th if he comes down. Okay, next coming up, Gustav. We got to hear him last week because of our 2-minute rule. He wasn't even signed up. We got to hear him. I'm glad you got on the list, brother. You know how we do. Let the people know where they can find you online and then spit your poetry. You got 4 minutes.
Okay, I'll put everything in the chat later. And my name is Gustav Advocate, just to hit that Gustav. There we go. All right, this is holographic multiverse. 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. Beamed up from Prague like Star Trek. I got lines going on to infinity. Some call me a poet and some a divinity, but I never take me too seriously. I'm living on the edge deliriously. Future evolution depends on our decision now. Surmounting every difficulty will show you how. Words cascading like Niagara falls in your lap like Viagra to keep that booty shaking as Armageddon's quaking. My rhymes erect, it's never flaccid. Complex like deoxyribose nucleic acid. Been up all night, I keep going and going and going, and where this will stop, there's no way of knowing. Leo Dragon's my horoscope. I'm pyrotechnic like a great white dope. I'm on fire and everything's funny. I'm the freaking Energizer Bunny. It's inside me, there's always more. 7 days a week, I'm on 24. Plugged in, blissed out, I'm inspired. Into cosmic consciousness, I'm hardwired. I'll live forever or I'll die trying. At light speed, I'm time defying. Real serious like the dog star, yet delirious like the drugs are. If making my own synchronicity seems like egocentricity, I got my flaws but live life to the hilt. Love and do what thou wilt. Third eyes on like I got x-ray specs, driven to the edge of Cassandra complex, but I roll with the shocks. We're putting everything back in Pandora's box. The golden apple goes to the fairest. I'm dressed to thrill, all hail Eris. Sacrifice to Bacchus another Red Bull while giving thanks and being mindful of all the joy that surrounds us, even when all their bullshit hounds us. Back on earth where we live life, death, rebirth, and the afterlife. And I'm sailing away. Live in the now, live for today. The river Styx we all will cross. In Hades, I'll be my boss. Non serviam, I'll tell the ruler. We'll install central air, now that's cooler. In the underworld without a care, all my best friends are there. We'll open a club, we'll call it heaven. It'll be rocking 24/7. Orgiastic revels, I'm not joshin'. Dionysian, Hieronymus, Bashan. We like it spicy, got no taste for mild. Our party motor's running, reborn to be wild. We're quantum mechanics under the hood, meta programming for the common good. If Einstein's relativity is E equals MC squared, this means that good times are best when they are shared. Our cup runneth over a cornucopia, an underground networks created this utopia. We make the rules by which this game is played, got a grip on the eternal golden braid. So if you're down with what we're professing, come with us, we're effervescing to these naked truths we're undressing. Love one another, it's a blessing.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Gustav. Oh wait, did I ask him?
Another.
Gustav.
Fucking awesome. Good stuff, man. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Thank you.
Gustav, you got to be here with us on Mondays. We're loving you. We loved you last week, loving this, loving the energy. Make sure you put your information in the Zoom so that all of your new friends and fans and followers can follow you. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Last week, and I'm going to talk more about that, the 2-minute time limit. But again, we're going to get into this maybe after this next poet. Okay, so Aldinarily, I'm so butchering her name. I'm so sorry, Miss Torres. She's not here. She's not going to be able to rock tonight. So we're going to move to Deadpan Lizzie. That also means Vex Lex gets moved into the guaranteed list. So where I saw Deadpan Lizzie, where? Oh, there she is. Let me unmute her. So yes, Vex Lex, I think you were in the building. Make sure you stick around. You're guaranteed to be heard tonight. Deadpan Lizzie, let the people know they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's good to see everyone. I haven't been here for like almost a month. You can find me at ES_Strauss if you just Google it. All right. I was at the Miguel Memorial on Saturday and it was beautiful. And I wrote a poem for him. So it's called Little Stanzas with a Side of Heavy Metaphors. We never got to meet on planet Earth, but I would like to think we will get along if we ever do cross paths. I wish I had been able to watch you spit, swallow, and host from the balcony of our holy sanctuary prior to our new normal. Hopefully you would have called upon this deadpan, swift glasses, double bag and beanie wearing soul sister to come down to spit and swallow under the bright lights in my favorite spot on the Lower East Side. I hope you would enjoy the Thesis Potus and her sassy realism. Until we meet up above, Miguel, I will be standing by, spitting, swallowing life. That's just me, a deadpan Thesis Potus. As I cook Beyond Burgers and my garlic spinach, listening to other poets spit and swallow their words, as I flash my pretty whites at the right potuses from afar. They say in person I'm not deadpan at all. I did not even realize over Zoom that I come off rather monotone. But I have seemed to have caught your hearts and souls week in and week out, especially when I spit and swallow erotica. Jewish as a Boston, are you listening? A deadpan double beanie bag and Thesis Potus soul sister, another god on Mount Olympus, has a lot to say in little stanzas. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Deadpan Lizzie.
Hey,
Noise.
always like your words.
What's up, Deadpan Lizzie?
We call it Deadpan Lizzie because, as you see, her style's got that kind of deadpan to it. But like I always say, her life has a lot of words. Deadpan Lizzie, make sure you put your info in the chat so the people know how to follow you. Next, we got Paul con Queso and Elemental coming up to do a collab. But before we do that, because some people have showed up late, this is the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Look up New Eurekan Poets Cafe on there. We could also find all of our past shows that are recorded. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, I'm the host. You can follow me at Advocate of Wordz on Instagram and Twitter. And when you spell words, that's with a Z because, you know, hip hop. Well, what? Our signups for the open mic list begin 24 hours before the show on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. To sign up, and by the way, tonight's list is closed. Even the waiting list is closed. To sign up, you would visit neweurekan.org and click full events calendar. When you get there, you would sign up. You would click on the Monday you're signing up for. So next week on Sunday, you would click on the 20th and you would order an artist RSVP ticket. If it hasn't shown up, if you don't see it, that means that the list hasn't opened yet. But once it does at 8 p.m., it goes quickly. Make sure you are on the website at 7:59 p.m. clicking refresh. Only way to get on the list is to get an artist RSVP ticket. In terms of the new rules that are going to begin on September 27th, that means next week, we're going to still do it by the old rules. After that, going into the new rules. Rule number 1, instead of 4 minutes, we're moving it down to 3 minutes. That is going to give us an extra 25 minutes, which means we should get at least 4 more poets on there, maybe 5. That means that we should be able to get 30 poets a night in theory. Again, it's only going to be 25 guaranteed, but we should be able to get 30 a night. Also, in terms of introductions, we're going to be timing introductions starting September 27th. You've got 30 seconds. I know that we got a lot, that everyone is doing a lot, and everyone to check out everything that all of you are doing, but we need to do it in a small amount of time so that we make sure we can get to as many people on the list as possible. Also, starting September 27th, we ask that poets only perform or read on non-consecutive weeks so as to create more space for voices, meaning that you're not going to be able to perform in back-to-back weeks anymore once these new rules start. If you are on the waiting list and I call you and you're not there, or you're on the list, you sign up and you don't show up, you can't show up, it's going to be counted as if you perform. But if you're on the waiting list and we don't call you, you can sign up next week. That's why I said that we ask that poets only perform and read, not just sign up, because we don't get to everyone on the waiting list. So I want to make sure I make that abundantly clear. We're going to update the website too, so all of that information is on the New York website. And last but not least, beginning in October, on the last Monday of every month, each performance will have a 2-minute time limit. Last week, we had a 2-minute time limit. We got to like 43 poets, and it was just so beautiful, especially for someone like me who has attention deficit disorder. It was so beautiful, and a lot of you sent me emails and messages, and you liked it. So I don't want our new normal to be 2 minutes, but I figure, you know, there's 4 Mondays out of the month, sometimes 5. We take the last Monday to do 2 minutes, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. So with that being said, I do want to get to continue on to the open mic list. But before we do that, I also want to quickly mention that although we are shifting and changing these rules because we want to accommodate more people, right? It is really important for me to put out there that all of you who have signed up every week, all of you who have created this great problem we have to deal with now because we're not able to get everyone else on, right? I want to say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I still want y'all in this community. Y'all have helped build this community. And just because that we're trying to create space for more other artists, I don't want to feel like anyone is being pushed out. It was very difficult for me to make these rules because it's like, oh, but there's so many people here who really enjoy this and need this every week. And I want to be able to provide that. So I just want to make sure that y'all know this is still your home. You still are not allowed to do anything on Monday nights, even if you don't sign up. You will come and hang out with me, okay? Or I will cut you. My son is playing baseball again. He got a baseball bat. So we will go and we will find you. Come here on Mondays. With that being said, let me unmute Mr. Paul Con Queso and Elemental. They are both have signed up tonight and they have combined their time. So they're going to rock out for just 8 minutes. I was assured 8 minutes. Right? 8 minutes, right? I love y'all. All right, cool. Elemental, Paul Con Queso. Let the people know where they can find y'all online, and then y'all got 8 minutes to rock out. Go ahead.
Simple. Elemental.com for me.
At Paul Con Queso on IG and Linktree. We're just going to get to it. Storm God's in the building. We figured this was a piece as an ode to your voice, but we speak in our own voices enough, so we wanted to channel one of the greatest duos of all time. So tonight, this piece is called Outcast. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm afraid, like I'm scared as a dog, but I got a new song and I want y'all to sing along. Sing along.
See, this is the way that we walk on a sunny day when it's raining inside and you're all alone. Because the whole world loves it when we sing the blues and the news for all the wrong reasons, piecing together weather patterns. You smell the stank on you, creeping through your woofers, tweeters, speakers, heaters, all in your grill. Ain't no thing but a chicken wang. Smoking out this dungeon like dragons, first generation. Grab your tickets, all aboard. We travel out of space, standing in one place. Trans DF Express. Even in darkness, we radiate distinction. It's so bold, so cold, so throw. You can smell that funk with a cold.
Ain't nobody dope as we. Free base to spoon, cause we crack a lacking back like we never left stage, left this cresting wave of magic. Whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote. And this is for the poets at ground zero who got laid off and became ascendant. Our twin identical structures never break, we stay bending. Yet if you look straight in my eyes, you still might see a disguise because the whole world don't recognize.
Our words are diamonds, spit out of mine, spit them, polished. Look how they shine. We organize noise, disturbing the peace, glistening like rugged amethyst from East Point to Shaolin synthesizer. George Clinton mothership connection, smooth like a hot comb on nappy ass. Hell, she gypsy. Hit me to some life games, said stimulate and activate your left and right brain like million elephant, silverback orangutan. Who can't stop the train? Who? Original Transformers, straight from Cybertron, so futuristic, the shit we on going off and coming right back like boomerangs when you throw them with these old ghetto poems, so 3000 and beyond.
We sold 3005, do or die, Aquemini, 80 alien style on y'all asses with rise and fall of Voltron, keeping our heart 3 stacks intact as international players' anthems, handling handlebars and handoffs, one night stands and stands off, wetness all around us, truth, but we know island. Archipelago, maybe. Makes no sense, I know, crazy. Give all this pussy cat in our lap for the dap of our craft, say our vows and watch the sun fade to black eclipse as us winding, but not like clips. See, we push a T swing with malice, like Ron Artest at the Palace. Now you better call Tyrone with your one phone call. Bag ladies clutching hips as you clench eyes while coming to America Badu, like Prince Hakeem left for Queens, being bathed until the royal penis is clean, your highness. My divine gift is diving into this verbiage, uncertain sermons, sparring sounds from the underground on some Clubber Lang to Apollo Creed and Rocky 3. Throw in the towel, please, but I'm on my Adonis shit. A speaker's box love below. Levitator submerging, surface earth worthy of worship. We pagan when we caking. See, these deities eating good.
Just 2 storm gods in a Cadillac, moving up in the world like elevators, meeting the crew. This how we do, you know what I mean? So fresh and so clean, clean. They so obscene with gasoline dreams, bringing back that spine tingling art of storytelling.
Solutions got Get It Beltson, Patty Meltson, Monte Carlos, and Eldorados. It's showtime at the Apollo, so follow like it's me and you. Your mama and your cousins too. Dump dunk in the truck, raw from the giddy up. Better choose the right one to pick the kitties up out your teeth, flossing seeds like sesame. And we be everything like the bagel. Pray to us or hush that fuss. Everybody move to the back of this perfect storm front. Let us lead, open sesame. Let us teach, pan in on Sesame Street. Sunny day, everything A-okay. Cause Steve blew his clues when he apologized to you. And Miss Jackson got jacked as Hugh Jackman when he got cast as Wolverine. Manure maneuvering and mind the sheer time commitment it would take to apologize a trillion times. Still, we defy limits, physics, and meteorological predictions, because you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather patterns. Pitter patter, because 10 times out of 9, the water comes after slaughtering this killer Mike. Much thanks to mom and dad for keeping this dungeon family together till severed, till death do you part at Dracula's wedding.
We missed a lot of church, so poetry is our confessional. Clean your spectacles to see this future past. As outcasts we were born, wasn't warned of the harm that would come to meet us like MetLife, but yet life done picked us up and put us on a path toward forever.
Forever, forever, ever, forever, ever, forever never seems so long until you on the clock with 4 minutes, Poe pimping in parking lots. Our peaches down in ATL, Georgia. What do we do for you? Just some granny with a plastic wrap couch in the foyer, sweat on ass like Janet, Planet, Stankonia's on ya like a 3-piece finish for a cut your daughter. Yo quiero Taco Bell, then I hit the border. When you come to New Yo-Yo, you better not hide, cause the Storm family gon' ride. Ha, ha, ha.
Woo! White Owl's burning kind of slow down 85, feeling the Savannah breeze like Ray Murray melodies in a big rude berserker barrage where goody mob means the good die mostly over bullshit. Heavy hands on pen, writing rhymes, reciting lines, bringing light off in that spot, knowing that we can get up and get out to something more than stories of unhappy roosters. Life is a musical, and this is a call of the wild.
We idle, wild, taming domestic life, because this right here goes out to all the baby mamas, baby mamas, thrown back by throngs of paternity tested, backflipping Maury guests when proven you are not the father. Shuck and jive amused. I want to see your support, Brian. I support you. And this violator, Caroline. See, she's the reason for the word, bitch. I hope she's speeding on her way to the club, trying to hurry up, trying to get to a bottle or sing or some sort like that, and try to put her makeup in the mirror and crash into a ditch. Just playing. Because we Southern play catalytic music, coolest motherfuckers on the planet, don't wish ill on nobody, see? We don't need no golden ratio to divide. The time it takes to look inside and realize that you sound like pausing. Oh, so you're one of them freaks, get geeked at the sight of community bicycle seats, men all pausing, but mental pauses be like total Nissan Altima. See, that's just fine. We so far past that back of line, back of bus. Even Rosa Parks blushed. I see you shook as a Polaroid. Lend me some sugar, neighbor. Catching fever blisters. Need a breather. Need a breather. Hey, y'all. See, I'm no love hater. Just a lover fighter. Divisive as a day in the life of Andre Benjamin. Got everyone so pretty pink and baby blue on Valentine's Day. She lives in my lap. Behold a lady wet and spread, and she's alive questioning, where are my panties? Take off your cool and vibrate to God's bass from this speaker tweeting, I hope that you're the one. If not, you are the prototype to solve all like cure for cancer, cure for AIDS. You're so Anne Frank and I'm so Rick James. So let's hit the attic and super freak for about 2 weeks because I got a stick that wants your automatic. The sky is falling. No need to panic at this disco though. Simpatico. Eargasms, clear static like absinthe sip. How's about one more dose? You comatose. Coast to coast storm force. Music, electric revival. Recital. We really feng shui in this kung fu poison clan dungeon family temple of the dragon's breath because E said it on the right and I'm gonna set it on the left.
Bend corners like I was a curve. We struck a nerve, and now you about to get this storm. God served up on Spaghetti Junction, elope with ski slopes and fall like avalanches. Planted on mountain's base, many day has passed. The night has gone by, but still we find time to put this thunder and lightning in your eye. Verbal chaos, no days off, sipping sauce from purest thought from black righteous space aliens turn storm force. Hot tub, bubbling like a water, call us hot tub. Cut these poem stanzas like a meat cleaver. We be the team of two, swinging the millennium pendulum. We chronometrophobia, singing Decatur psalms on wheels of steel, getting the hell out of Babylon. Liberation of society of soul, weather controller, spit chunkify, spliced with rock and roll, indubitably pipe of pie. Now hold on, my brother, no, can't stop the stride. Let us take you on a funky ride all around the world.
Because the whole world loves it when you don't get down. And the whole world loves it when you make that sound. Wah, 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 wah. And the whole world loves it when you're in the news. And the whole world loves it when you sing the blues.
Even the sun goes down.
Heroes eventually die.
Horoscopes often lie.
And sometimes why?
Gotta wrap it up, guys. Sorry. We almost at 9 minutes.
We done.
Yeah, we're done. Nothing is for show.
Nothing is for certain.
Nothing lasts forever, but until they close the curtains,
storm gods will stay working.
Give it up.
Good.
That was an elemental.
Storm gods.
That was dope.
Storm gods.
Everybody, love you so much. Love you both.
You can follow Paul Con Queso at Paul Con Queso. When you spell queso, that's with a Q, Queso. And you can find Elemental on his website, elemental.com. You take out the T, you put in the number 2, and that's how you can find him. Next coming up is Mr. Propaganda Poet. The man who was touring the USA earlier this summer is now taking a break so he could be with us on Mondays. Propaganda, let the people know where they can find you online, and let's get into your poetry.
Here's all my link tree. All my stuff. I got books, I got CDs. I'm losing my food stamps at the end of the month, so I need to start selling my words, man. So if you know anyone who wants some words, I'll sell them so that I can eat, because I can't eat my words. Ha! You get that? Okay. So thank you all for being who you are and doing what you do. Thank you for giving us these spaces. I break this poem out every year, say it a few times, and I put it away. I wrote this 20 years ago on September 11th when my girlfriend's son looked up at the TV and tried to vocalize what he saw. And then I finished writing it 19 years ago on September 11th when I was teaching on the military base in 29 Palms, California. This is called 911. What is the nature of your emergency? My country fears of thee, false land of hypocrisy. It's for thee that I scream. Land where my grandfathers died because the great white father lied, then raped every mountainside. Let the brass shells rain. And that is why I was not surprised when bodies started raining from capitalism skies, because someone was fed up with centuries of American lies. Horrified, scarred, unglued, but I was not surprised when bits of wall littered the street like incomplete jigsaw pieces of a discarded puzzle far too complex to even try to fit together right. disgusted, blistered, and raged, but I was not surprised when blame was laid before presence of proof. Just new towers of violence without foundations to be built on the skeletons of the many by the actions of the few, because their closets are already full and their rugs have grown lumpy. Sickened, disturbed, appalled, but I was not surprised when the color of skin became the only reason for brutal bullies to abandon reason, embrace fear and insecurity, mirroring those other bullies who just crashed their insecurities into our delusions of invulnerability. Grounded, trapped, lost, but I was not surprised when ordinary people became extraordinary heroes just for doing their jobs. Lest we not forget those other heroes whose jobs included mouths to feed and seeds to grow, so they had to drone to those offices each and every day, or those teachers who tried to help us along our way when we didn't know how to think or feel, and to reel, 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 the day that they refused to let the earth actually take a break and just stand still. No. They'd much rather have another multimedia view to a kill so that they could steal our will, so that we would digest retaliation before we were even ready to sit down and eat. Frightened, empty, confronted, but I was not surprised. A pair of 5-year-old eyes had already seen 1,000 homicides. In video games and cartoons, on the news and other commercial media events, even in his own school. He said it looked kind of like fireworks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for encouraging my behavior. Thank you for having these spaces. And I love the 2-minute night. I'll be there for the 2-minute night.
Give it up for propaganda poet.
Hey, propaganda.
Rock, go, man.
Propaganda poet, give him a follow. He's also Bear Wolf on Facebook, and sometimes he comes as Lobo when he comes to rock out with his guitar. I love that dude, propaganda poet. Next coming up is a woman who had signed up for the open mic, but she's also going to be co-hosting tonight in case Zoom kicks me out. And that is the ever amazing Finn Bell. She's got her hands in a bunch of cookie jars. So if you're saying, hey, Wordz, you're changing up the format, how am I going to sign up with other open mics? She hosts her own open mic as well, amongst many other things. Finn, let the people know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Good evening, family. You can find me on Linktree, Finn Bell. I think I want to tell you a story. I haven't quite decided yet what it's going to be about. I feel like it's going to start with something that I thought about before I closed my eyes last night, or the first idea that skimmed above the fog of my brain as I struggled awake this morning. I already know I'll begin to forget about it as it is poised to eject from my tongue, because I read in an article today, and did you hear this deliciously wicked play on words? And did you know that a gathering of leopards is a leap? I didn't know that before, hindi ko dati, but now I know ngayon. And I can as easily slip back into the previous topic, as likely as I possibly could not. And maybe we can talk about something else instead. Am I talking too much or too little? I am usually mum, choosing my words carefully, but when I am excited about something, when I find you comforting and familiar, I tend to talk at length, talk in curved sentences that make invisible curly cues in the space between us, talk in borrowed film noir voices, talk as if our conversation suddenly became a scene in my favorite musical. I think I remembered what I initially wanted to share with you, a story that placed me, painfully shy and always migrating at the front of an elementary school classroom, and told by frowning teachers to speak up. A story that reminded me that smiles were lips closed, that front teeth bared, bore testament to a lisp, and that wasn't pretty, and odd wasn't pretty, and that ching chong girls shouldn't be mouthing the lines of a Calgon commercial, ancient Chinese secret, in superimposed sing-song, and how they instead dared sound more like the sainted Scarlett O'Hara. I think the story might have went like, speak up to the California girl Opie who couldn't yell out the last four social to satisfy barking, hurting, terrifying army drill sergeants. Are you a Valley Girl soldier? Yes, drill sergeant. I mean, no, drill sergeant. I think the story might have went from speak up to speak dirty, because bucket lists cannot be ticked off unless you have Minnie Mouse or Snow White to tell you exactly what decadent things they were going to do to you as they immobilize you helpless between their thighs. I think speak dirty broke stupid unspoken rules, broke the Disney princess as she awoke from the nightmare, creeping halfway down the tower in her ridiculous hair, broke the spell for her. There is no happily ever after, only blue-eyed expectations and fair-skinned typecast waiting in the castle's dungeon. I think the story now says, I have something to say, and if you want to hear it, be quiet and listen. You might want to lean in closer for this one. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Finn Bell.
I really like that.
Collab at the ending with the dog. That was perfect.
Gorgeous.
That's my birthday twin.
Phenomenal.
Finn Bell, PHYNNE_BELLE. And yeah, the dog at the end was awesome. He growled at the perfect time. I love it. This is what's so awesome about Zoom. We won't get this at an in-person open mic. Make sure that you give Finn Bell a follow. She hosts her own podcast. Like I said, she's got her hands in a bunch of cookie jars. You need to check this woman out. Next coming up is the apple of my eye, Catherine Badan. Let me unmute Catherine. Hi, Catherine. You know what to do. Let the people know where they can find you. And
they can find me at catherinebadan.com. I got my YouTube. I got my Facebook. I got everything you want. And I'm coming off of 3 weeks off of my meds, so I've been feeling more than ever. And I've been thinking, what do you folks think? Which is grammatically correct? Bitch-faced cunts or cunt-faced bitches? I'm kind of thinking both. My mother and my aunt were both bitch-faced cunts. My half-sister and my evil stepmother, her evil stepmother, were cunt-faced bitches, and they each have their right play. I used to hate that word, until I heard some Brits go, oh, he's a silly right cunt, isn't he? And I felt crazy for the word. I think it's fantastic. I'm no longer afraid to use it. Now, I gotta say, there are some words I don't like at all. I don't like murderer. I don't like rapist. I don't like torturer. I don't like sadist. I don't like those words, so I don't use them. But I face the fact that in this world there is evil, and we have to face our own inner demons. I've discovered life is not just this fabulous bowl of cherries. There's rotting crap underneath, and if you don't face it, honey, it ain't going nowhere, because that's like putting a straitjacket on your own shit, and until you go through your shit, you can't get rid of it. But once you let it surface just a little, it'll surface up to the surface. I said that 3 times, but that's okay, you get the idea. And it disappears, it dissipates, because what's underneath it all is love, not hate, and this incredible energy, which brings me to Bob Marley. I saw Bob Marley once, and he danced. It was at the John Anson Ford Theater on a Friday afternoon in 1977 in LA. I was blessed. It was a perfect day, and so was Bob, almost prancing in place like a finely tuned racehorse, chomping at the bit to start the race. I saw Bob Marley levitate 3 inches off the ground the entire time. That's how connected he was to the one God that became him. Bob Marley, the black George Harrison, and Georgie, the white Bob Marley. I have a photo of the two of them shaking hands, looking exactly alike, as if they remembered each other and had had a previous lifetime. Both manifesting from the one and then turning back into the one, Bob and George being men of peace, although Bob had seen more of pure violence in his own country and George had seen more of pure violence in the world. Was it then so surprising that they came from the same original source? It wasn't surprising to me that they shared the same message to all of us. I saw Bob Marley dance once, and his energy was on fire and mesmerizing, so no one could look away. Instead, the entire audience was sucked up into the same dance trance, bopping up and down in place with Bob and his groove, being transported to another higher and more holy place. It was actual manifest magic as we were elevated and up, brought into the Holy Spirit, and while we didn't physically levitate as he did, we were at least elevated and spiritually renewed, revived, reinstated into the purity and truth that is the Lord. I saw Bob Marley dance once at the John Anson Ford Theater on a Friday afternoon in 1977 in LA. Peace out.
I love that energy. Yourself. Give it up
That
for
was a
Catherine
ride.
Right on.
Catherine, I always
Hopefully
enjoy
not
your
now.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Woo! Catherine Badan, you can check out her website, catherinebadan.com. She's a photographer as well. When you spell Badan, it's Badin. Catherine Badan, make sure you give her a follow. Next coming up, we've got Kawana James. Now, Kawana is under a there she is. Let me unmute her. If I'm not mistaken, Kawana, this is your first time with the Monday Night Online Open Mic, correct?
It is. I'm new, and it's been a pleasure listening to everyone. It's been great.
Awesome. Where are you located?
I'm in South Carolina, but I was born and raised in the Bronx, Allerton Avenue and White Plains Road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A shout out to the homegirl.
That's
Shout
right.
out, yo.
Ain't nothing changed except my location.
There you go. So this is what you do. You let the people know where they can follow you online if you have any social media, and then you got 4 minutes to share your poetry.
Okay. I'm as Kawana James, and that's Quwana, James, James, AKA Miss Attitude. I have 2 short poems for y'all today. The first one I'm going to read is called Bitch, You Don't Know Me. You think you know me because I'm everywhere and you see me. Talked about me with some nobody, trying to be a somebody by talking about me. Because I am somebody for whom people have curiosity. But now you hoes can drag me. No ho, not none of you. I am so busy with my own business, I don't even pay attention to your bitching. That's not my mission in life to listen to you when, bitch, you don't know me. I'm still figuring me out, but you know me inside and out. So I guess I should listen to you so I can learn about myself. As if that would help. You don't know me. We don't hang out together or kiki, but you who can't wipe your ass clean after doing number 2, think you know me when all you really know is, bitch, you don't know me. That's the first one. Thank you. And the second one is called Lies Told to Little Girls. You can have the world weaved straight or curled, but you have to get married, carried away. Lies told to us since we were knee high. Marriage is the trophy, the prize. Again, lies. Get married. The wedding is everything. All that attention in a whirlwind got you spinning, thinking of all the sinning y'all will do. Damn, not true. Had to get my electric blue. My dick, I keep in my silk purse for emergencies, times like these, when I reminisce on all the lies told to me as a little girl. They made my world all about a title that didn't define me. I'm free, grown, on my own, alone. No, never lonely. If you only knew. New adventures await around every corner, every twist and turn. I discover a friend, a lover, or myself. No one ever told me I could be amazing when I was a little girl, just told to get married and all my prayers would be answered, problems vanish. I wish more of them lies I was told as a little girl. Thank you, Miss Attitude.
I'm new to James, the Bronx in the house, Bronx in the house. If you heard, they were screaming out one of us, meaning that they want you to come back. The community has spoken. You are one of us. Love that energy in the writing. Kawana James, yes, please come back. Please come back. I love that energy. I'm here for it. Okay, let's continue. Next coming up is the prettiest girl in the world that my eyes have ever seen. She is staying up late in England to be with us, and that is Mariella Salazar. Mariella, you know the deal. Let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear your poetry.
Hi, everyone. You can find me on Instagram at Made by Mariella. I'll put it on the chat. Today, I'm going to be sharing a poem about something that happened to me a while ago. So thank you, everyone, for the space to share. It's called Here Lies Jane Doe. I can still hear the buzzing noise of your window, each hum creeping into my sinew, foreshadowing the sound of flies which busily swarmed a silent caucus that hitched a ride on this road traffic accident full of lies etched in lines, had me paying your fine. So my spirit did the time while it paid for all your crimes. But the real cause of death was your voice in my head, killed the things I left unsaid behind borrowed bars of steel. It wheeled and tugged at heartstrings until they bent and broke, tried to gather faint wisps of smoke on fire, curbing any unrelenting desire to rally all your demons to shift away the blame and save you from the sorrow, to save me from the pain. Heartily it drank a bottle of vodka to drown us both to shame, thinking a lonely spectator could win unwinnable games. And with the last strength it mustered, lifted us ashore. It tried to save a broken bottle from drifting aimlessly aboard litanies and requiems of phantom foot soldiers that marched in sullen tune, their heads bowed in disbelief in the Ides of June. A moment of silence for the lost eulogies, speeches lost at sea, for the breath that escaped before I could escape me. Performing the autopsy of Jane Doe was never easy, so you pretended to steal a peek to appease me, but not to please me, just to leave me with a soliloquy that merely glided through the surface, because the surface is safer. The unidentified deserve no prayers. When a body is shattered with cuts and blows, when a body is too loud, when a body is too broke, when a body lost its soul, when a body is told it could never be whole, when a body's last breath is grabbed by the throat, when a body is forced to confront the choking reality that the dead cannot unspeak, cannot unthink, cannot unfeel. So the judge ruled that its spot should be sold separately. Undeserving of a post-mortem, leave your flowers in an unmarked grave. Here lies. Thanks.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Mariella.
Wow.
That was incredible, Mariella. That was
God damn, that's a good poem.
that was great.
Good Lord, that was amazing.
Woo! Mariella, you can find her at Made by Mariella on Instagram. So many lines, so many lines. I love the eulogy lines out there too. And no, I didn't write that poem. I should have written it all. There's a bunch of lines there that I like. It's okay. I don't feel bad that my girlfriend wrote a better poem than me. All right, next coming up, we've got a Green Bay Packers fan who, yeah, you know, her team got beat really bad yesterday.
We did not show up at all, right? We almost played as bad as the Bears. I mean, seriously.
We played better. We scored 2 touchdowns. You got a field goal.
We got 3 points in fantasy, okay? Like, come on, Aaron Rodgers got 3 points. We got on the board. Yeah. Anyways, that was total tragedy. This better not be on my time, by the way, Advocate.
It's good. No, this is our my time. This is our New York time. We making fun of the Packers on New York time. With that being said, Marissa, let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's see your poetry.
Oh my goodness, it is good to laugh again. Thank you, my friends, for creating the space for me to be here. So come find me, Marissa Prada on Facebook, Prada Painting and Poetry on IG. I co-author The Word is Right, WRITE. We do have open mics almost every night of the week. Rob Mark Thompson is going to be having a bi-weekly workshop also at The Word is Right. So we're super, super excited. This Saturday, we got a beatboxer from the UK, Word Gorilla, and he's going to be featured with Amber Dragala. So don't miss it. All right. Also read a green book. Shout out to my press for publishing. Since it was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, I'm going to read you my 9/11 poem today. My heart and my love goes out to all of you who were there. It is titled Reflections at Ground Zero. America at its best, America at its worst. I wonder if we should have responded at all. Or responded by building schools, Community centers train teachers and doctors, not bury 150,000 Afghans and 2,400 US service members. How many schools would $2.3 trillion build? How far can $2.3 trillion fund peace efforts, technology, communication, eradicate disease, poverty? 2,400 folded American flags behind glass, collecting dust on a mantle of purpose, possibly wasted. Lives donated to high crime, subsidized by hate and greed and fear. City boys so far into the backwoods of everyone else's everyday life. If poets were at the forefront, finger on the button, we would have never fired the rockets of revenge. Send our brothers and sisters to battle other than Islam and still scream, fuck the scores. So what now? How do we give permission for peace to be permanent? To become students of one another, to document the reality of history, not as we'd like to remember it, but as we have actually created it. Let me be the voice of reason. Hate is not seasonal. War seems all but recreational. The amount of power in the hands of a few good men who find no problem with a few casualties. Eye for an eye, Gandhi. Blind faith, love. Love is blind, blind rage. What if it were my husband, my child, my parent, my best friend or lover? What if they just never came home that day? I wonder if I'd still want revenge 20 years later. When will it be enough? How many people have to die? When will it be enough to write a future worthy of our legacy? Worthy of our children, worthy of survival, worthy of remembering. Tracing fingertips over letters etched into permanent stone. All that's left of a loved one, their name. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son, a friend, a lover, as the roar of water too far in the future negotiates the feelings between my ears. The building is still tall, still shades, still defies destruction, still calls to old scars to stay far, far away. Neil, Thomas, Belinda, Kenneth, Douglas, Lawrence, Vernon, Richard, Joseph, Imelda, Ming, Kevin, Frank, Scott, just some of the names that escape to my eyes. Daily, roses remark birthdays, since they will never come again. No more candles except handled by the masses who never met you. No more songs except those of the bereft wailing below their best attempts at reconstruction, recovery. So many not even recovered to this day. Sky blue, water shimmering, clean, deep down. So many fell down to their deaths. America at its best, America at its worst, wounds healing, scars showing on generations, so many folded American flags. How do we come back from this? Well, the birds have come back. So have the seasons, the wind and storms and widows and orphans. Even those from thousands of miles away will come to pay their respect, to leave a piece of themselves behind too. So they will have to return from time to time to visit the person they were before they stepped foot in this space. How do we do that exactly? How do we come back from this? Have you not seen it yet? We already have come back from this. We simply have to. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some energy to Marissa.
Marissa.
That was a great poem.
That was amazing.
Shout out to all of the veterans who came and featured on Saturday. We had a 7-hour poetry show on Saturday. I did not leave until every last person who wanted to read. Thank you so much, poets who came to support on Saturday. Bless you all, Nuyo. Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you, Marissa, for having me
Marissa
back.
Prada, make sure that you go give her a follow. Word is right. She does her own open mics as well. Got to give her love. Her team that is expected to win the division did so horrible on Sunday. I know. Look, I'm not going to get many opportunities to take shots at the Packers this year. They're going to do well, so I got to do it. Marissa Prada, make sure you give her a follow. Okay, let's step out of talking about the NFL. Let's step out of this open mic and go into the skip verse with the New Yo OG himself, Mr. Paul Skiff. Paul, you know the deal. Let the masses know where they can follow you, and then we're ready to hear your fire.
Hey, everybody. I just been posting mostly on Instagram lately. I don't have anything that has to do with anything, but that's the beauty of this forum. So it's just a short piece. In the cartoon, there is the little devil Porky Pig on one shoulder and the little angel Porky Pig on the other shoulder. Both argue at once into Porky's same head. It causes Porky confusion. A look at your own shoulders finds nothing, but you can feel in your own body two sides pulling apart. You try to pretend the rending feeling inside you is not there inside you, but Porky has you now. Every day there are ideas that get into you like a fly steals your room, and there is not anything you can buy online that will repel the unseen predatory hand of the animator. Some truths will trick you, are a reality that is dumb. To understand this is impossible. Now you are different than before. The laughter of certain realities can be a horror. Your entire consciousness would be different if only you had not clicked on the media file where Porky was having his own existential crisis. But now your view of life is transformed without permission or consent. You have to hope and trust in blind luck that Porky received moral training and will also display to you some virtue for making choices you can mimic, even if it means you end up acting like a pig.
I knew you, so let's give it up for Paul Skiff.
Holy and
Always
Skip,
enjoy hearing you.
man.
Fucked my brain up.
Shit.
Right. That was freaking amazing.
Tripping
Thank
through.
you.
It be like that sometimes when you go into the Skiff verse. Paul Skiff, Skiffgram on Instagram, paulskiff.com. When you spell Skiff, that's with two F's. He's a New Yo OG. Like I said, he's got more claim to this open mic than I do. He's performed at a hybrid event. He's performed at the Wild Project with us. Hopefully we see him September 25th, and he's a real Lower Sider. All right, he's really from the Lower East Side. I love having this dude, Paul Skiff. Make sure you check him out. Okay, we're going from the LES gangster to the Massachusetts gangster. Now, this woman is going to try to be all nice and proper and polite with y'all, but do not fall for it. She's gangster. And by the way, Gigi, I'm sorry I didn't respond to your message. Thank you so much for your message. I appreciate it. I was reading it in transit, so thank you.
I just wanted you to feel loved. Actually, right now I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I got to meet Nathaniel Beck. by the way.
Another Green Bay Packers fan? What is going on?
I drove to fucking Wisconsin to meet him. It was amazing.
Did you hit him one time? It was okay if you hit him one time because he's a Packers fan.
No, I didn't. No,
Okay,
but
okay.
so anyways, so I have 3 very short poems. But yeah, I'm in Minneapolis for the week. I'll also be there for September 25th. God bless Deadpan Lizzie. What is it Paul called me the other day? The Iron Monsoon. I'll be there. Don't worry. Okay, so you can find me at iron_resilience on IG. I also have a website that desperately needs to be updated, but it's arcadian-poetry.com. I got 3 poems. Let's get into it. So the first one, there's actually a line in it inspired by my conversation with Nathaniel. So I wanted to say that one. It's on theme. So this one's called Voice Boxes and Sand, and then I'll read the other 2 after. Voice boxes and sand, a tribute to a voice who once wished to be stone, thinking its worth was only in weight and how much impact it could create when it avalanched. By the echoing of destruction along mountainside, I am not one with a voice of stone, but a sand. Sand who has been created by the erosion of time and events, a collection of everything that's happened to me, one that can be scooped up and looked individually and then poured into the wind. No, not like stone who ages in stiffness. A voice of sand whose strength is in the undertow, words pulling you underwater, a voice who wants to fill your lungs, pooling and replacing where the air was. A voice box of one, not of stone, that is already set in size. No, I have a voice still expanding and eroding. One I know that will carry its weight, one that holds it now. One that is soft when cradled, but hard upon impact. A poet told me, don't be afraid of your voice. You'll grow into it. And I can't wait to find out what he means by that. And then this one's called A Week for Love. What if I loved you for a week? A clock set over our heads as I fabricated what life would be here like. Here nestled between landlocked states and thousands of lakes. What if I loved you for a week? As I read books in coffee shops and pretended that I belonged here, familiar with the street names, your street name and your 3rd floor walk up. Don't worry, I know the code to your building. What if I only loved you for a week? And after that, we realized our lives were too different, the distance too much, that you'll never leave here and I'll never go there. What if I loved you for a week and we pretended that this was what the next 35 years would be? And what if I tucked them away in a random week in the Midwest? And what if I loved you for a week? But what if I was just lying and I loved you for more than that? And then this one is the last one. This one's called Cathedral in St. Paul. I took you in my heart to St. Paul. It had been a year since I stepped in I'd stepped foot in a church guarded by the Vatican. I took you to St. Paul on my knees as I lit a candle, and I knew you had never been this far west before. The statues looked at me with eyes not glazed with stone, but of knowing I was far away from home, carrying those on my heart. I don't know how long the candle I lit for you will stay alit, or if you felt the pulling through the large wooden doors, or maybe through the stained glass windows. I took you to St. Paul, so I didn't feel quite alone. Thank you so much.
Unmute yourselves, give some love to Gigi.
Wow. Sharp.
That's right, Gigi. Next up, Albuquerque.
That's gang. Straight up.
Everyone wants the gangster. They're like, you got to come to Albuquerque. No, she's coming to New York City. That was Gigi Iron_resilience. Make sure that you give her a follow, especially because the poor woman had to hang out with a Packers fan, Nathaniel Beck. Oh, Nathaniel, you're in the room. You came in. What's up, man? How was your Sunday? Hanging out with the Saints, huh? Okay, let's move forward. Shout out to Nathaniel. He is actually a fantastic poet. And he's in love with a Chicago Bears fan. Love it. All right, we're going to the Bronx now with Roz. Roz recently just had produced her own open mic and feature show. Roz, yeah! She is doing a bunch of poetry and features of herself representing the Bronx. Roz, let the people know where they can follow you online, and let's hear your poetry, sis.
That's Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram and throughherbigbrownyes.com. This was a little brain burp that came to me during a break at work, and it's called Gateway to Stolen Dreams. It goes like this. For me, silence is deadly. So I let my voice be a weapon against the manifestation of inequality, portal of dreams, shielding the indigent, swords of the misfits of society. Energized instead of phased by the gavel, tongue shaped expertly for relentless advocacy, because when I'm sworn in, I swear to speak the truth. From the moment I raise my right hand and say I do, I speak for you, for the voice that quivers because their normal is a black and blue around the eye, for the voice traded for silent cries, for the voice that is minimized based on an immigration status, for the mother who no longer wants to be the addict. I lend my voice to you. This tea kettle is not afraid to whistle. I need it back at 5 though, because it's still true that this siren, squeaky wheel, voice, puts in serious work for me too, from my inner child, because even gentle hands can lead in the wild. End poem.
Ooh, the tea kettle line, that ending.
The ending and the
Tea
tea
kettle
kettle
though.
for me.
We got
My favorite poem of yours now, Roz.
Woo!
Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram, throughherbigbrownyes.com. Make sure you give this woman a follow. I love it. This tea kettle whistle. What? I could go on and on about it. Okay, make sure you give her a follow. Next coming up is Emily Cordes. Emily is a one-person army herself, a curator, director, a writer, an actor, and she was a big help in getting our online events going on when we transitioned. Hi, Emily. It is so good to see you. Let the people know where they can follow you online, and then the floor is yours.
Hey, everyone. Postmodern Psyche on Instagram, Emily Cordes on Facebook, and I'll be doing a play these next couple of weekends in Brooklyn Heights. I'll drop info on that in the chat. This poem is a little homage to my girl Frida Kahlo, and it's called Frida's Revenge, reference to Bruja referring to herself as such. It's almost a trope to claim Frida Kahlo as one's shiro, exotic and artistic in the vein of white blonde girls enshrouded in white sage, urban outfitters shawls and Coachella war bonnets, self-care con sabor, a bobo brunch drink garnish. And as a dorky white girl, I claim no right to her. My truth a vintage record just shy of hipster vinyl, stutter skipping stereotypes while trying to tread lightly in this newly gentrified backyard, hoping my presence won't superimpose juice presses over batidos, subletting at gouged prices the space our bodies stole. But who among us slightly dark and fertile souls can't see ourselves behind the arch of batwing eyebrows, playing hide and seek as we peek through window slats in ribs and wake each day to repair and unwind our tangled souls and fix the crumbling columns of our spines, our árboles de vida engirded in 1,000 thorny vines, but standing tall like beacons in the night as we hold our bleeding doubles, hands and throats and beating hearts entwined by one thin red umbilical, we toe that finest line between folk art cliche and archetype, the wounded healer Chiron with a body not quite human, not quite something else entirely. We walkers between worlds, skilled swappers of 1,000 skins and forms. Like self-stitched dresses, memories adorn us, painted on the plaster corsets that ensconce our mortal bodies frail and wild. We wear our pain and our strange like jewelry, not the cheap kind, pretty bleeding valentines on sale for tipsy tourists, charmingly commodified, but trophies like the bones of what we conquered, proof it couldn't kill us, though it tried. For survival is the best revenge, and it's the highest victory to make your art into a work of life. Thank you.
What a poem of the
Hang that poem in the museum.
Brilliant.
Frame it,
Love the
girl.
language.
Frame it.
Love it. Beautiful. Emily Cordes, you can find her on Instagram, Postmodern Psyche. I think that is my favorite Instagram handle name. Make sure that you go give her a follow. She's a fantastic actress. As you see, she is a great writer. Make sure you go give this woman a follow. And she knows how to put shows together too. Someone to know. Every now and then she looks for actors and actresses. So someone to know. Just wink, wink, letting you know. Okay, next coming up is Diane Ward. Let me unmute. Diane, I just want to say I'm sorry I was flirting with my girlfriend in front of you here on Zoom. but I want you to know if you and your husband are done, I'm still there. You call it, you let me know. And it is what it is. With that being said, Diane, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much. I'm having computer problems, but I think you can hear me. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. You're good.
Okay, I can't see anyone, but I'm glad you can hear me. I'm going to go through this very quickly. The prompt was flag. You know how many weeks ago that was? But it also ties into Ode to Your Voice. So I'm going to read it quickly because I think I just hit the 4-minute standard. I wave the flag of the United States of America, not the flag of surrender, solid white, as some would prefer, because your preference doesn't make this land. America's landscape is diverse, just as those who inherit her by intent, slave trade, and indigenous birth. Yes, I wave the flag of the U.S. of America, not the flag of surrender, solid white, as some would prefer. I wave hi, hello, not goodbye, exposing my pink palm topped with black, brown, tan, yellow, red, and navy blue, red-veined and friendship-poured skin. I wave the flag of the United States of America, not the flag of surrender, solid white, as some would prefer. I wave my black arms, tanned forever from birth, across America, seen in daylight, lunchtime, and ebony bright in your headlights. I wave the flag of us that makes some cringe, who spit on this shared ground when I tread upon it, which of itself is both absurd and criminal. I wave the flag of the United States of America, not the flag white, no surprise, you prefer. For I am American whether you like it or not. I am not demurred, for I will not be decimated as you tried through sport to kill native buffalo herds. Yes, I wave the flag of the U.S. of America, a land never lost or not founded by a few, a land already alive and living, vibrant, pristine and treasured, in spite of some denying those and them automatically and naturally born free. While remembering the red-skinned indigenous fooled into trusting the white, those who introduced their white flag from their losing battle. Blue boo-hoo to the sky will cries to white clouds and stars. These witnesses to criminal, cultural, ignorant, racist profiteers sourcing tribes' demise. Yes, I wave the flag of the us of America, not the flag of surrender colored pure white, as some would prefer. I wave my head high in clouds, white clouds laden full of tears that watered this landscape when white men appeared. Beige clouding, floating in a blue sky when red man families rode in fear. I wave my hands clasped and cringed in desperation because some do not want me to be heard. Freely I can fight wars and conflicts for those who think America only belongs to them. Then how is it that I can return bruised, beaten, and homeless in the same U.S. land? Because I wave the us of America, that flag for veterans brave and scolded. Damn, you returned, survived, and still humming? I do not think some feel much concerned or beholden. Some others wave the flag of the us of America, cling to its red face, white and blued, the white dinged, which look at me incredulously, say this flag is not attributed to those and them and you. I wave the flag of the U.S. of America, not the flag of surrender, white as some would prefer. I wave my voice within octaves of pain, cries, angered shouts, marrow deep, eyelash vibrating shrill, not succumbing to verbal, psychological, social, and physical abuse. I am not here for your sport. I will not surrender what this country, my country, our country, which my people and others of color continue to fix, amend, and preserve the best of this. I wave the flag of the U.S. of America, not solid white as some would prefer. Despite what some others may prefer, we share the flag, and you do not get to choose who holds, waves, kneels, and pledges to this inclusive flag. This makes some cringe and divert their eyes, for I am American. Despite what you may assert, I will not be denied. I wave the same flag from my Porsche or porch, despite what flag you think appropriate for me. This landscape, bold and free, is also mine, not requiring your approval. My proof is my word, proven by rims of legal, vetted, honored, respected, politically earned, voted, debated, warranted, indemnified, American-sanctioned, congressional, Senate, constitutional, and protected truths against holding dear, temporary, useless, biased beliefs, gangster money, and desperately disingenuous power lust. Finally, understand, I wave the flag of the United States of America, not solid white as some would prefer, because I will not surrender what this country, my country, our country, which my people and others of color continue to fix, amend, and preserve the best of this human herd. By my combined spiritual and undeniable right, I'll not wave away my birthright, as some of you would concur. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to Diane Ward.
Yes.
Us of
Yes.
America.
That's a really nice Diane. I like that.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Diane,
Diane Ward. She doesn't have social media, so you can't hit on her. Get in line. But she does work with Bronx Fun and Arts Hub. Sometimes she hosts workshops. Make sure you go check them out so you can check her out. Shout out to Ron Mark Thompson, who we'll be hearing from later. And did I say it wrong, Mark? I know I always, my dyslexia, he's giving me the evil eye. Like, you ain't say it right. You're supposed to be my friend. You call me brother. Words, you didn't say it right. I'm sorry, my dyslexia. But you're going to hear from Ron Mark Thompson later. He'll let you know exactly where to find it. Next coming up is Gina Nepa, and here's Gina. Let me unmute her. There we go. Hi, Gina. You know the deal. Let us know where we can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
Hi, happy Monday. You can find me at Gina Antonia Poetry on Instagram. I'm gonna read an old piece tonight because I just absolutely have forgotten how to write for about 2 months now. So any advice that anyone wants to offer there would also be appreciated. But here we go. This is called An Ode to the Musicians Who Allowed Me to Feel Seen When Everyone Else Looked Away. I watched men scream at the top of their lungs in packed bars and clubs, bars filled far beyond legal capacity, but there were no laws to govern the beauty, the safety of our shared suffering. The fantasy of who I imagined these men to be, of who I needed them to be, was just enough, just barely enough to keep me breathing. Those were the years when the other men in my life would choke me just to remind me how easily that breath could go away. The problem is they were suffering too. The problem is they were sad too, but their sadness got written about. Mine got chewed up, spit out, and dragged by the hair by boys who were being dragged themselves. The head injuries sustained from these concerts were nothing compared to the emotional injuries sustained from men who these musicians told me were just passionate. I'd take a contusion any day of the week if it would help me forget what happened the other days of the week. These musicians made me feel a deep empathy, a deep longing to soothe the men around me who wore the same eyeliner, the same zigzag marks up their arms, and the same profound devastation. If they felt this pain, these musicians told me, it was because girls didn't pay them enough attention. Girls didn't fuck them fast enough, long enough, hard enough, with dead enough eyes. When he carves his initials into my hip bones, it's considered romance. When I carve out a space for him at my birthday dinner, it's considered smothering. When Jesse Lacey croons to me that he is just a man who knows how to feel, I wonder how he felt when multiple women came forward to remind the world that he'd violated them, and mostly when they were too young to know you were allowed to call it that. When Davey Vanity sings that scene sluts like it's super rough, I didn't realize that a 28-year-old man had been referring to 13-year-olds. I didn't realize that he had told these women, I'm going to gag your teenage mouths. When Ian Watkins shouts that he still bleeds, does he realize the prepubescent girls he forces himself on bleed a whole lot more? These men were brilliant in their domineering, brilliant in claiming vulnerability in order to claim ownership over the bodies and minds of girls who had been so goddamn crafted, so instinctually trained to take care of them. You can get away with rape for decades if your teenage fan base commits to standing by you, even when you're pinning us down. You either want us to use our mouths to sing along or to choke on penetration that we thought made us the chosen ones. We hadn't yet learned we were allowed to have a choice. When the only man to ever appease your suffering, your teenage isolation, is also the man responsible for the lifelong traumatization of others, whose side are you on? As Taking Back Sunday would tell me, you could slit my throat and with my one last gasping breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt. I'd be embarrassed by my own bloodshed. You'd be delighted. To Gerard Way and the other musicians who gave me false hope, sing it with me. I'm not okay, I promise. When will I get my own verse? Okay, and then I have one real short one. This is called Premature. I fuck myself harder than my psyche does when you tell me I mean nothing to you. I didn't realize you'd finished before I did. I'm done.
Unmute yourself and give it
Holy
shit!
Mind blowing.
Welcome, Gina.
Mind blowing.
After the room.
Amazing.
I love Gina's writing, her flow, her word choice, her imagery. I love it. Get to writing, Gina. And here is my advice to anyone who may be struggling with writer's block. You need to read poetry, but read poets who are not of your culture and not of this era. And I promise you, the world of writing will open up to you more. That's what you need to do. Not of your culture and not of this era. With that being said, get to writing, Gina. I love your work. I want to hear some more stuff. And that was new to me. Even though it's old, it's new to me. All right. Now we got a collab going on. Let me unmute Amanda Villanueva and Kilson. I don't know if it's Roque or Rock or Roque. How do I say your last name? Or am I just going to call you Kill the Writer?
You could go Kill the Writer, Kill. Kilson. It's Roque or Roque, whatever you prefer.
Okay, I Kill the Writer. I'm a writer. Should I be worried? Amanda, who are you bringing to our open mic? I'm joking. All right, so this is the deal. For both of you, let the people know where they can find you online. And then they both have signed up on the guaranteed list. So combined, they have 8 minutes.
Advocate, you muted yourself, but you guys know where you can find me. Instagram, Facebook, Medium, Amanda Ashley Villanueva. I'll let Kilson introduce himself and then he can start us off. Let's go.
Like I said, I'm Kilson Roque. Kill the Writer is my socials. I barely use it though, just to be honest. So at your own leisure. We're gonna start this off. Capicúa. Tú fuiste la cabeza y me dejaste de cola. You know, I don't understand why some people aim to be an amalgamated couple, having one start where the other ends, the type that finishes each other's sentences. For real, where's the individuality in that? If you want to be with someone just like you, then be with yourself. That's why I accused you of trying to turn me into you. but I saw more of myself in you than I cared to admit. And that's the thing, though. That's probably why I argued and cussed and raised my voice and left you on red and ignored some of your calls, and I never loved myself. And in turn, I didn't know how to love you. So when I saw myself reflected in you, I got scared. I withdrew, and I let you do the running. Always told you you were smarter than me, but you thought I was just laying it on thick. But the fact that you knew well enough to leave me behind, that our relationship was toxic, that's proof. That's why I say, tú fuiste la cabeza y me dejaste de cola. You the brains, and I'm the ass. Once I would have said, fuck you for leaving. Now I love that you left. Still don't know how to love myself, but I love that I'm trying. I didn't know who we were, but I can tell you who I am. Where I start and where I end, and both are without you.
El dolor de tu cabeza favorita, la diosa tan divina, la que tú necesitas, la única que suene de Capicúa, suene de aquí y de allá. Vamos para atrás. Vamos a Aguadilla. Let's find heaven again en la esquina. Respira, mija, me dice mami, trying to dice away the tears that haven't yet formed, two scorned heartbeats torn on unparalleled side streets, empty, meaning somehow still breathing, mouths somehow still seething. I never wanted to be an extension of you, just a reflection of your roots. I argued to offer my broken shoes a home with crazy glue, and I left after realizing our foundation had been ran through, had been sucked blue, had not been true, Capicu, chucking a deuce to both ends of you. But this art of finishing where you start is something I'm still addicted to. I say I want to be with myself, but I still need a lot of help. Saying fuck me for leaving might make this easier. Your phantom opera fever can't be cured with farina or viva porú. Yo sí tengo una cabeza bien dura y que lo disfruta.
No, I let you in my heart and you made it a home. But when you left, you took the me that used to be with you, along with the decor. And I've been empty so long since that now I'm haunted with ghosts after ghost after ghost after ghost after ghost of you. The timbre of your laugh reverberates through my halls, ringing in my ears, joined by a cacophony of your always and forevers, your I love yous, your I hate yous. And if that wasn't enough to continue tormenting me, I found a picture of us the other day, sparking up memories like blunts. They plucked at my heartstrings, composing songs of amorous dissonance. Fucking with my head so much I don't get high, I get rooted. Don't feel joy, only wounded. That I find myself here again in a place possessed by you, without you. I was in a good headspace, I swear. Got to a place where I only thought about you like once a year, if that. And if I tell you I cried when I saw that photo, that's a lie. Because I bawled like a motherfucking newborn. Throat so raw, it'll cost you $100 a plate at the sushi bar. So I drank in that image, gagging on it like unsweetened bustelo. I think I miss you. I think I want you in my life again. I think I'm still in love with you. But the tiniest sliver of reason that remains within me questions whether I love you for fact or if I love the image you represent. Y la mente se me pone todo derrumbado. Because after all that healing and self-reflection and promises to only look forward, never back, I found myself back where I started, sitting at the table of life, love, and destiny, domino tile in hand, thumbing the flechitas, ready to smack down. Capicúa.
Capicúa, desnuda. Mi mente no juegue como tú. My mind games dance to a fancier tune. Your truth plus my truth concludes besos de Brugal y Bacardi. Hoja blanco, stained by bustelo negro. Tan feo mi dedo. Desde escribir una página nueva. Mi lengua tan buena. Recuerda la fecha, porque hoy yo no soy sinvergüenza. Capicúa. dismantling the two-story home that started as a heart, both doors left wide open, both curses left half unspoken. You, empty ever since. You, bargaining with my haunting. You do not miss me. You miss how I found God in you before framing my own divinity. You miss the decor that offered a floor warm enough to sedate the pain, but not hot enough to melt it away. You miss the Stockholm syndrome in loving your abuser. You miss not defining yourself a lonesome loser. Our love was fact. Now you swimming in fiction, swimming and not forgiving me for falling back to my old ways. This love, now just a domino game. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, unmute yourselves and give some love to Kill the Writer and Amanda.
That was good. That was dope.
One of us. They have a brave heart. Let's go.
That was dope. Make sure you go give Kilson a follow, Kill the Writer, and of course, Amanda Ashley Villanueva. We're going to hear from her later tonight as she is going to close us out with the Goodnight Sweet Poet poem. So we're going to see her in those fancy sunglasses. Kill the Writer. You have to come back, okay? You were killing it with your poetry. I don't believe you're going to kill any writers, so it's safe to have you back. Please come back. That was awesome. Thank you, Amanda, for dragging him here. Okay. Next coming up is Marilee Johnson. Let me unmute Marilee. She's become addicted to the Monday night online open mic. There she is. How are you, Marilee?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I am so happy to see you back. Now I know you don't wait. You do have social media, right?
Well, I never know where to send people, so maybe once I learn Instagram, I'll offer that up.
No problem. No problem. Go ahead. The floor is yours, Marilee. Thank you for coming back.
Sure. So I'm going to read 5 haikus today about Coney Island. I went there on Friday, perfect beach weather. At Coney Island, sand blowing onto the page, sand pummeling me. There's only one thing I don't like about the beach. There's sand everywhere. A wrinkle of waves, fingers creeping onto shore, in peace receding. It's the wonder wheel rotating into the sky. Not a soul on board. The wooden cyclone built in the 1920s. Hey, who wants tickets? Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give some love to Marilee Johnson.
Love
that.
Oh
my God, yes.
Bravo. Very nice. Very, very nice.
Marilee Johnson is slowly becoming the mainstay here at the Monday night online open mic, and I love the haikus. Poetry for me, it should be succinct. You need to say a lot with very little. Haiku is a great way to do that. And of course, y'all know that like I got a lot of love for Japan when it comes to writing. So I am all for haikus. Marilee, thank you so much. Shout out to Kemlin in the Zoom chat. I see you, Kemlin. I see Mr. Tessasomo is also checking us out, and he's not on the list. Appreciate you, brother. Abraham, come on, he's here. It's been a minute since he's been here. He's been on the waiting list. Hopefully we get to them. I know I had mentioned Nathaniel Beck also here. The Urban Cowboy Poet is checking us out. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Poetaku is here from Japan. My man is always giving love on Twitter. I appreciate you. I see Generalissimo here as well, our chef poet. Mia is here. Mia is going to be rocking at the next hybrid event. Once I get the info, I'm going to make sure I hit her up and she's going to come rock out. Now we've got Marco Romeo coming. Now I've seen Marco rock on Thursday nights. I'm not sure if he's gotten a rock on a Monday night. Have you gotten a rock on a Monday with us before?
Never, no. Nope.
There we go. Awesome. So let the people know, where are you located?
Yeah, I'm located in dirty Jersey, South Jersey, the obscure part of South Jersey, like beyond Atlantic City. So, you know, I'm not from Springsteen, Jersey. I'm not from Danny DeVito, Jersey. I'm from just, you know, wherever the hell, Jersey.
And you're an actor, right? You do theater, correct?
I guess so. Yeah, my style's been described as that.
It's theatrical.
I intend for these things to be poems, but the way that they're performed and stuff is very theatrical. So I guess
I'm
you
all,
could say.
I'm all for theater. I love it. Marco, let the people know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
You got it. Just follow me on Instagram at Marco Romeo Poetry. It's all one word. It's MarcoRomeo Poetry. It's one thing. And you know, I've been thinking, no one told me self-love meant more than a tree pose. No. Instead, I saw eyes get wide after I recited something I wrote. Then the ice broke. All of you were all about spotting this in the foreground. What a relief. Thing is, I thought you would keep looking for me, but hey, no worries. My story can't begin unless I wind up a chapter in someone else's. But look, no hard feelings. You keep doing your thing. Just blink and miss me. Blink and miss me. No skin off my back. Oh, what? What, don't believe me? I made sure that it stayed in place just in case I need to give you a piggy ride. I'm available anytime. Just say the word or don't. Either way, I'll go to market. Otherwise, it's just absurd. Everyone else has lanes next to theirs, you know? But no, it's my leg's fault when I don't walk out of my room or can't answer what I'm doing. I disagree. That's okay. All right. You know what? I'm not blaming anybody. Just making my 11th call in a row to your iPhone. And while I'm at it, sending my 22nd text to our thread like, hey, you upset? Wise one once said, if you have to ask the question, you already have the answer. Nah, just kidding. My mom's full of shit. You know what? I'm not popping on your radar because I'm blocked, aren't I? That's it. Well, hey, that's what happens when you open a Hallmark Channel template and use a Lifetime Network font, eh? There's a practical guy in the back of my mind. He knows you need a break from me having a breakdown when you sorry can't got a thing. My luck, it'll be the permanent kind, which will mean more time spent asking art thou with this name, like an irony yawning from all the walking, telling you, tapping all them cold shoulders. It's a miracle my fingers got 10 to count to. God, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I should know this. One of my tattoos say that. Two of my tattoos say that, because the day I leave anything alone might be the day a moment stays with me. That's more like it. Poem. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Marco Romeo.
Great, I really like that.
Yeah, Marco.
Yes, yes, poet.
Yeah.
I told you, that's why I thought he was a theater head. He put so much performance into it. I love it. I love it. Marco Romeo, make sure you put your information in the chat and also check out all the nice things the people are saying about you in the chat. Love it, love it. Want to give a shout out also. I see Zachary Anderson White is here checking us out. I know who he's here to see, who's about to come up soon. Also want to give a shout out to Jasmine, another member of ours who is out in England, and she is braving, staying up to listen to all of us. Shailene Segura, I'm not sure who Shailene is, but I'm glad you're checking us out today. Thank you so much. To my brother Thomas Connor, apparently both New York baseball teams are not going to make the playoffs. We will cry together. Also, a shout out to Ron Bremner. I don't know who that is, but Ron, I appreciate you checking us out. Mr. Scott Pleasance in the building, always showing love to him. Itty Younger, who closed us out last night with last week speaking Nigerian. That was crazy. The Good Night Sweet poet poem, and that was awesome. All right. Let's continue forward, as now we have coming up Jenna Fleeson, the only poet that Zachary Anderson White doesn't want to hear tonight. But I am so funny. Jenna, you are looking good. You are here back-to-back weeks. It is so great to see you. Let the people know where they can follow you online, and then you got your 4 minutes.
Thank you. Yes, you guys can follow me at Jenna's Poems. Yes, this is an old poem. I also had some problem writing. Like I'm having some problems, but I edited this poem, so this is like kind of new, old and improved shit. So I guess we'll call it that. Yes, this is called Couples Counseling. Stomach and brain walk into a therapy session. They sit on the nice plush couch as the therapist asks, "What seems to be the problem today?" Stomach says, "It feels like abuse when you don't feed me." Brain gasps and says that that's ridiculous and that they ate far too much last week. Stomach begs for brain to stop asking finger for help because it makes it nearly impossible for them to get the nutrients they need. Brain says not to bring finger into this. Stomach says that that's not fair and that it's not their fault that every time someone compliments them and calls them thick, brain hears fat. Brain says that if stomach wasn't so big in the first place, this wouldn't be a problem. Stomach says they shouldn't be discriminated against because they're stretchy. Brain says it's not discrimination if they deserve it. Stomach says that if brain was strong enough, he would be able to feel no remorse and feed stomach nothing for weeks at a time. Brain says they feel no such thing. Stomach quickly notes brain's compliance to attend such a discussion shows that they don't indeed feel that way. Stomach insults brain by calling them weak and selfish. Brain says they could do it. Stomach says, if you're so great at not eating, then why do you give me more food when you're sad and completely forget about me when you're mad? Brain says, 7-Eleven, 2 Dr. Peppers, 1 donut, 3 Kit Kats, 4 taquitos, a bag of hot Cheetos, McDonald's, a cheese pizza, and Taco Bell, and anything it can get its hands on. Stomach says, thank you. I knew you loved me too. Brain says more. Stomach says, stop. Brain says no. Stomach just stretches and begins to think that maybe this is what love is and maybe this is healthy. Brain stays silent. Stomach says, I love you. And brain goes in and calls stomach fat and a bunch of other horrible things. And the therapist sits there in silence and offers for them to come next week. Thank you.
That was deep. That was good. That was good. That spoke to me.
That was deep.
That one spoke to me when I was younger.
Oh, so good. So good.
Jenna Fleeson, you can follow her on Instagram, Jenna's Poems. And yeah, I think we've heard that poem. I think she's rocked it here on Monday and edited some. Oh, I love it. I'm sorry to going through that, but I love the writing and the approach that you gave to it. Jenna can do no wrong, Fleeson. You're back in my good graces, Jenna. You've been here back-to-back weeks. I love seeing your face and hearing your poetry. Jenna Fleeson, make sure I give her a follow. Want to give a shout out to Shama Goodrich as well, who's checking us out. I saw Shama giving a lot of love to the poets in the chat. Also, Lamar Mitchell. I saw Lamar checking us out. He has been here for a while. Terry Rose Jerkson, I see you. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. And again, I am not worried that you're a Phillies fan. You have never threatened the Yankees. Thank you. All right, moving forward, we're now going to Ron Mark Thompson. I like my sports. I know not many people in the sports, but I like my sports. Ron Mark Thompson. So Ron, my dyslexia, right? It's Bronx Art and Fun Hub.
Yes, you got it. That's
all right.
perfect.
I'm sorry, Ron. So right, Ron, let the people know where they can find you online, and then the floor is yours.
No, that's perfect. Yes, just like Advocate said, Bronx Art and Fun Hub. This week I'm doing a writing prompt workshop. Next week a photography showcase. and Diane 2 weeks thereafter. And as Marissa earlier mentioned, I joined the Wordz Right team. This Wednesday, we're going to co-host Nick's open mic on his behalf while he prepares for his grandma's funeral. And next week, I'll be teaching an arts and crafts poetry workshop. It's all in the chat. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the new voice, Cynthia or Kuwana, I think so, from earlier. She mentioned she lived on Allerton Avenue. I used to live there for 5 years, 2 blocks from White Plains Road. Beautiful neighborhood. I love it. All right, I got 2 very short poems. The first one is Ode to Your Voice. Dear Miguel Algarin, a happy belated birthday to you. Thanks to you, our community is like a glue. Your voice and your vision gave us a voice. You co-founded the cafe. That was a bold choice. You created a venue for us to share our views, to let us express. You were and are a gold star to our city, to our country. What a great bless. Thanks to you, we can rejoice, laugh, and cry with each other. We can comfort and motivate. We are our sister and brother. Gratitude for giving us our voices, for letting us speak in person and online. Happy birthday to you, Miguel. Thank you for having been you, our community's sunshine. And that is the first one. And the second one is Ode to My Voice. I'm only going to read you half of it. This Saturday, I actually missed Miguel's celebration in front of the cafe. I instead went to Crotona Park in the Bronx to be with La Brua and many our poetry friends here, Progonis, PRTT, Stage Garden Rumba. And at that event, a fellow member from our Zoom community came, introduced himself to me and shook my hand. And he told me that he was taken by a recent revelation and poem that I read online that had really had a profound effect on me. So this morning I wrote a poem about, in the past, I'd never liked my voice. I always wanted to sound like others, but as we know, that never works out. I'm going to spare you the first few lines and I'm going to start my poem in the second half. It's at the line when I realized that my poems are like the letter C. C could stand for courage or confidence. I hope that applies to me. If I tilt the letter C, one way it becomes a frown, or it could also be a smiling mouth upside down. I can then put together both opposites like a circle and add a mouth and some eyes. Brush in a little yellow or green, it doesn't matter the color or size. What matters is that it shows a smile, as hopefully my poems do, like on this day. I hope my voice wipes away any hardship and makes your day less gray. My voice is here to stay. I will continue to read poems like this one here tonight. I hope that I leave you for many, many minutes shiny and bright. To everyone here in Zoom, please keep smiling, keep using your voice, use your own smile. I too cherish your lines, your own experiences, and your own style. The end.
Unmute yourselves, give some love to Ron. Mark.
Great love you, Ron.
That was awesome.
Happiness.
Thompson.
Ron. Love you, Ron.
Make sure you give Ron a follow. Love this dude. Also, yes, shout out to Nick Paleologos. He lost his grandmother earlier last week. So we love you, Nick. We hope you're all good. We call him our cult leader. When you hear people screaming out one of us, he's the one who started it. So sending all my love and my strength to the Paleologos family. Thank you, Ron, for reminding me. I wanted to mention that too. Ron Mark Thompson, Bronx Art and Fun Hub. Go give them a follow. They're doing a lot. Next coming up is Vexed Lex. I don't know if she's vexed today or if she's happy or I don't know. We don't know what we're going to get. All I know is we're going to get some fire. Vexed, let us know where they can find you online and let's hear your poetry.
All right, it's good. Yeah, I made it off the waiting list. You guys can find me on Instagram at VexLexPoetry. So I have two poems for y'all. The first one is really short. It's untitled. I was born into a whisper, faint, made to be unknown. I grew into a murmur, quaint, destined to be alone. A stutter through the awkward years, so much restraint and inhibition I could not condone. The young, timid girl who had to realize she had the choice that one day she could become a voice. And my last poem is called She Doesn't Know This Poem Is About Her. I wish I could believe you have good intentions, that you actually have taken my feelings into consideration. I wish I didn't have to feel like an afterthought. You've taken a chance on others while leaving me to believe it's in my best interest. I would rather you tell me the harsh truth rather than only giving me a small percentage of what could be. I've stood on the sidelines when you've been heartbroken, time after time, wondering why is it that you prefer her and her and her while I'm just the afterthought. Karma is in the business of making several round trips, so I will let it continue to do its work. I would find myself thinking about what I lacked and what they had to get you to be active in pursuing them. Why them? Why not me? But you are right. It isn't a matter of not being good enough or not having likable qualities. It's simply the fact that I do not have the time to deal with your nonsense. Thank you.
Let them know, Vexed. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Vex.
Yeah, man.
Like
Made your point. Go on, girl.
Thank you.
Made your point.
Toma, there you go. Vex Lex, you can follow her at Vex Lex Poetry. Yes, she got on. Love having her on. Okay, we are now into the waiting list. I looked for Luke Casipe, but Luke is not here. So that means we are going to go to Ed Poetastic. Let me unmute Ed. Yes, Ed, we got to you. Our first person off the waiting list. I think we're going to get to a few. Ed, let the people know they can find you online. Then let's hear your poetry, brother.
Sure, no problem. You can find me online so you can unwind. All right, my name is well, you can find me on Eddie Foreman on Facebook, and you can find me on IG at Eddie Foreman 92. Okay, so I had to break through, so you know what I'm gonna do. All right. Hey, Advocate, what's up with you? Words are such a delight. Words take us to so many destination avenues. Words brighten our days and spark our nights. Words encourage what we do. So, fam, keep breaking through. All right, my name is Ed Potastical, Ellen feeling fantastic. Please give me a time so you can draw a rhyme so the awful sublime. Okay, here's my potastic chime. This is called Spoken Essence. Let out our essence. Let it root, sprout, and grow. Get lost in our luminescence. Let it shield us away from crows. Get lost in our adolescence. Let it blossom your inner rose. Get lost in our presence. Let it be natural, raw, and exposed. Get lost in our reminiscence. Let it be happy what life's bestow. Get lost in our sessions. Let's scream real loud in our pillows. Get lost in our confessions. Toss the trash. Let it be disposed. Get lost in our depression. Let's break the eclipse. Let's glow. Get lost in our regressions. Let's bask in growth. Oh, they know. Get lost in our expressions. Let's wear our emotions as clothes. Get lost in our processions. Let's wield our unique manifestos. Get lost in our possessions. Let's dance in our energetic flow. Get lost in your convenience. Let's drift off to our faraway shows. Get lost in our innocence. Let's climb up to our Zen plateaus. Get lost in our acceptance. Let our love support and overflow. Get lost in our reflections. Let's fly and show what we undergo. Toss away our suppressants. Let's toss away our straitjackets below. Let's get lost in our transcendence. Let's blow away our chaotic sparrows. Get lost in our independence. Let's sense and feel ourselves. Feel that? Yeah, they know.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Ed.
Fantastic. Yeah. We felt it. Yes, we felt it. Yeah. Bravo.
Man.
Good stuff, brother. Good stuff, man.
Ed Foreman, Mr. Ed Poetastic, always having a rhyme for us. Make sure you give him a follow. Ed, put your info in the chat so the people could copy and paste. IC is not here, so we're going to go to Kevon James. Let me unmute him. Kevon the Poet, at Kevon the Poet. There you go. I guess I already told people where to follow you, but you can say it too. And then you got 4 minutes to rock. Good to see you again, brother.
It's good to see you too. You can follow me on Instagram at Kevon the Poet. And my poem is called Ode to Your Voice. For years you believed that your thoughts were not worthy enough to express, or good enough to find an empress to impress. Most of the time, your thoughts were okay to say, but you didn't let them be free day by day. Your internal dialogue took over, but that is not the way. Now it is time to be heard with or without a rhyme. Let the world know what you're about before your time runs out. This is an ode to your voice for when you felt like you didn't have a choice. Now you can rejoice since poetry helps you find freedom. Thank you.
Yes, unmute yourselves and give it up for Kevon the Poet.
Yes,
Nice.
Go.
Kevon the Poet, I'm glad that we got to you, brother. I'm glad we're getting the people on the waiting list. Kevon has been around us for a while. I think maybe 2 months now is the first time he rocked out with us, or maybe a month and a half ago. Good to see you again, brother. This is why we're trying to change the rules, because there's so many people we haven't heard from in a while and that we want to be able to hear from, and there's so many new voices. And one of these voices that we haven't heard from a while, and he got a Caesar cut, I see, is Abraham Kamani. Abraham, it's good to see you. Let the people know they can follow you online, and you got 4 minutes to rock.
All right. It's good to see you guys again. I took like a 6-month hiatus. So a lot of stuff had to go on, so I couldn't make it. But I'm glad to be here. You can find me on Instagram at The Righteous Poet. And The Righteous is spelled WRITEOUS. Okay, this piece is more of a personal piece, and it's called Heart of Gold. Thursday, July 15th, 1999. At approximately 10 o'clock p.m., my sister and I were inside our bedroom watching Toro Toro on AMC when my mother arrived home from school. As the Japanese planes were beginning to bomb U.S. ships at Pearl Harbor, my mother walked inside our room and said, "Kids, I have terrible news. Your grandmother died this afternoon of a massive heart attack. Your uncle discovered her dead while sitting on a toilet, taking her last piss or shit before being able to flush the toilet and wash her hands. Suddenly, the Japanese bombs landing on American ships fell on my 14-year-old deaf ears. My heart and face dropped. My mouth hung wide open, unable to utter a single word. After 30 minutes of blankly staring at the closet door, I finally collapsed from the bottom bunk of my bed to the ground and incessantly cried for an hour. My peace and happiness were shot down, bombed, sunk into a deep abyss. Worst of all, there was no nation to declare war on, no visible enemy to kill, even if I had the firepower to do so. There was no way on God's green earth I could have avenged my grandmother's death. Heart attacks are not human beings that live in Hiroshima or Nagasaki. And even if they did, killing them would not have brought her back to life. All I could do was wait until her funeral the following Friday to cry all over again, to mourn her loss for the years to come. I remember coming back home and spending the rest of the day looking at her high school graduation picture taken back in 1941, just months before the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. She was 18 years old, short in stature, draped in a cap and gown, a beautiful face with short, curly black hair. A source of inspiration for me as I was transitioning from middle to high school to graduate 4 years later and go to college instead of going to the U.S. Marine Corps. I did not want to go to the Middle East and turn it into Hiroshima or Nagasaki. I did not want my heart to be under attack by hate. because my grandmother was a woman of love who wanted the best future for me, even if she did not live long enough to see me blossom into manhood. The last time I had a dream of my grandmother was in 2008, when I brought my now wife to her house shortly before our wedding. My grandmother immediately embraced her and gave me her blessing. All I could say when I woke up was, damn, she still has a heart of gold. In peace.
Ooh, unmute yourselves. Give it up for Abraham.
Yes,
Abraham.
Beautiful.
That's really powerful, Abraham. I like
Good to have you back,
that.
brother.
That was dope.
Thank you. I feel welcome. Thank you guys for having me again.
Abraham Kamani, what a way to come back. Humans is so tough. There's so much loss that we have and whatnot, but I appreciate all of y'all for sharing your loans, being vulnerable. Those are the writers that we tend to drift towards, because there's no bravery in writing about you're eating ice cream, of course, if you're lactose intolerant. But when you're approaching those human emotions and the things that you've gone on, we appreciate that. Abraham Kamani, good to see you, man. I missed the beard. Okay, next coming up is Julian Matthews. Julian, you know the deal. Let us know where we can find you online, and then you got 4 minutes to rock.
Hi, everyone. You can find me on Linktree, Julian Matthews with a double T. This is called Ode to the Double T. Give me a sec. I was looking through the names of at the 9/11 memorial, and I noticed something of the 3 Malaysians who had passed away there. 165 victims had double T's in their names. So this is dedicated to all the people whose names we may never know as a result of the war on terror. T for two, and T after T. 2 T's are like a couple holding 2 umbrellas in the rain, or a pair of river dancers in a mall. Synchronized divers in free fall. A row of T's are like lying believers, palms raised, ticket holders to a Black Sabbath concert. Redemption queue at the pearly gates. Better T's than 2 L's in hell. Oh, double T. Will you ever betray me? You seem upright, sturdy, like 2 masts on the ark. Save me from this bloody tide. 2 citadels daggered by planes. Twin wars on terror, spinners spoken. Double crosses on a hill. No token savior in between. 2 testaments, which to believe. One is truth, the other truthier. 2 prodigal tribes. X marks the lost. 2 brothers out to prove who's worthier. Double-sided blades. Twin swords stuck in stone. Masked air and the masquerader. Bayoneted men march to their tombs. A pair of tablets broken. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not repair. Side by side, gravesite markers for shattered mother and father. Sometimes people misspell, forget they are wrong, leaving you solo T, a lone cross to bear. Say a prayer. 2 decades of despair. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give some love to Julian.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What's up, Julian?
Always beautiful, Julian. Always.
Always amazing.
Always.
My heart out, Julian.
Always.
It always feels like Julian Matthews cuts his arm open in his soul and just lets it all pour out. Love having this man be part of our community, getting up early because he is in Malaysia to be with us. Julian, thank you as always. I love this community. Okay, so Miro's not here and Matthew Marroquin is not here. And they're the only others on the waiting list, except for our man in Mafia, New Jersey, Mr. Abraham Cardona Jr. After Abraham, we're going to close it out with Amanda. Abraham, what's going on in Mafia land, brother?
Hey, take the cannoli, leave the gun.
Let the people know where they can find you online, and then we're ready for your poetry.
Sure, you can find me on Instagram at fist_2_cuffs. Yeah, and here we go. This is actually a much newer piece. I actually just finished it maybe not too long ago, about a day or two ago. It's called In This Tempo. Got a little prop. In this tempo, I live within memories that press their hands against the present. My body moves to the rhythm. My soul holds these moments like endearing photograph in its decorative frame, a frame carved from the finest wood, found from the jungles of rhythm and blues, found as driftwood on the beaches of South Brava. We move to this Latin swing, stomping our feet swiftly gliding back and forth between the kitchens and living rooms we've turned into our dance floors. These feet write our stories in cursive onto wooden floorboards. We sweat as the liquor gets to our heads, and sometimes we cry. Joyful tears as nostalgia strikes in the absence of our lost loved ones, whipping sentiments into a frenzy only to be tamed by the strumming of strings resting on the spines of guitars and through the picking of upright basses, amplified and reverberating, pumping from the speakers, pouring relief onto the joints of the beautifully aged with drinks in hand and glasses held high. The rhythmic click-clack of claves radiating in a place where nostalgia and the present coexist, swaying our hips to the perfect tempo. Not so fast that you forget your past, but just fast enough to feel like a prayer your ancestors would recognize. End poem.
Ooh, unmute yourselves, give some love to Abraham.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Next, man.
Awesome, Abe.
Yeah.
Abraham Cardona, and this man can dance, okay? At the last time we had the hybrid open mic, he was there and he was shaking it. We were cutting up a rug. Well, the New York didn't have a rug. We were cutting up the wooden floors together. My man, Abraham Cardona, because he be dancing over the dead bodies in Jersey. He knows where they buried. Don't mess with them. Mafia, New Jersey. Okay, so with that being said, make sure that you follow the New Eurekan Poets Cafe on Facebook and YouTube, because that is where a recording of tonight will be, where you can go back and you can check out all those poems and all the poets tonight. Tonight was so great. I really feel like this is our 76th open mic, and I feel like we keep elevating and everyone's writing is getting better and performing. I love it. I love it. Also, you can follow me at Advocate of Wordz for more information on the hybrid open mic, for more information on Wild Poets Again, which we're doing on September 25th. And of course, for the super secret show that right now is just being named 2121. I am so excited to get this underway and to show y'all. Y'all have no idea what I've been working on. So make sure you check out all that. We will be back next Monday. Again, next Monday, it's going to be the last Monday where we use the old era rules. So make sure you come by and check it out. With that being said, we're going to Miss Sunshine with her glasses, the woman who will cut you with a compliment to end the night for us. And that is Miss Amanda Ashley Villanueva, a.k.a. La Tormenta, a.k.a. the Orca. The floor is yours. Take us home, Amanda.
About to take you guys home. All right. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Algarin into your home. This has been the Monday night open mic, online open mic, presented by the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe, hosted by the legendary Advocate of Words. On behalf of the community tonight, I, Amanda Ashley Villanueva, aka La Tormenta, would like to say good night, sweet poet.